Honestly, I'm doing this.
Yeah, you do it. Go for it.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Now I'm going to show you. Well, I'm not. I am. But Tony, you can take some pictures. Otherwise, the office and my wife are going to kick my back. Sorry. Are you sure? Perfect. Right. Please, please come, everybody. I promise you, there's no washing up tonight. Yeah. We've got a box of books there in a car. The box, yeah. If you, bring, please. Now, apparently, there's an omelette challenge. And the last time I made an omelette is probably a long time ago.
Me too.
But then again, I was it before. We are already on Google. What was that?
Looking up on Google, you alright?
Yes, please. How many eggs? Right. I need to tell you that I got banned from Saturday Kitchen.
Oh.
Right. And this is no joke, by the way. This is very true. And I remember when I was doing my omelette. First, you know when you do Saturday Kitchen, everything is rehearsal, yeah? I mean, you start very early, you do the whole program. When everybody's happy, the camera, the lights, this and that, the timing, what they do is say, okay, you got 10-minute breaks, and we do it live. But when we did it live, I didn't do it the same way. Now you will see later why. Therefore, that could be a plus for you. If I got kicked out from Saturday Kitchen, I did not swear. I actually provide something which was very, very much, tasty. And therefore, I'll let you and your imagination to see exactly what happened and what we should be doing. What we want is just a plain. You don't have to stand like at school, by the way. It's turning very nostalgic. What I would like to say is there's no cheese, there's nothing. It's just a plain omelette, and you do it the way you were taught, or the way you love it, or the way you learn yourself, as much as I did. Everything more or less that I know, and this is very true, by the way, and I'm very delighted and proud to see so. Everything I know as a chef is because I learned it from my mom. And I don't want to give the Kleenex. I know Kleenex is not a sponsor tonight, but this is honestly true. All the basic, very down to the basic. Therefore, I got friends of mine employing chefs or employing candidates to work in a restaurant or whatever by doing one thing and only. They don't look at CVs, they don't ask questions, they don't want certificate. What they want is, all right, okay, you got pan, you got eggs, make me an omelette.
Oh.
To get to a job. I think this is phenomenal. Now, shall we toast who's going to be first?
No, you go first.
Who want to be? Okay.
No!
Right. Okay, I've got a few 50 quid about it. Who want me to be first? Oh. What do you think? If you want me second or first, sorry. What's your name again?
Violet.
Lovely numbers, right?
Thank you.
Who want Violet first? Put your finger up.
The prices are going up. The prices are going up.
Right, you're going to be first, and you do whatever you want. Okay, we agree, yeah? An omelette, plain, as you wish.
How many eggs?
As you wish, 10, 20, 3. Okay.
Oh, is someone timing it?
All the time?
No, because I'm going to lose anyway.
No, it's not about losing or winning. It's about enjoying it.
I need a plate to put it on. You better win, Violet. No pressure. Thanks a lot. No pressure at all.
From now, Violet?
No. When I finish, start timing me.
You tell me when you're ready. Now you're going to see the reason why I don't want to be first. It's nothing to do about being shy.
Right, go for it. Not cooking very fast, Robin.
Did you turn it on?
I did!
You sure?
Yeah, it's on, it's on, it's on. It's on. It's on. No pressure. Now it goes quiet.
Okay, I'm going to give you a cloth, no worries. This is good, keep going. Well done. I like the fact you keep your smile on, that's fantastic.
That's nerves.
Because to be honest, it's not easy. I mean, I'm used to now. But I mean, the first time I had to demonstrate on in front of people, I remember that was 30 years ago. I was like this.
It does look like scrambled egg powder at the mark.
I was.
Are you still timing me, Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Are you up? What is the time? Are you up?
1 minute.
Go.
I tell you what, well done to you. You know, by the way. Now you're gonna see. Yeah, well done. Right, it's my turn now, yeah?
Go for it.
All right. You see the biscuit. Now you're gonna understand why I wanted you to be first, because as a gentleman I should be first. But what's happened is very simple. The mistake on Saturday Kitchen is not a mistake, it's just a gimmick. They're cooking the eggs in 20 seconds or 10, I think 16 is the quickest, just to be on the top of the board. And when I did it in 5 minutes and 40 seconds. That's what I meant. And the gallery was screaming, saying, "Get him out of the stage! Get him out of the fucking stage!" Because when you make an omelette, first you don't use salt, you don't have to use too much fat in a way. You do it in a such way, which you did because it's uncooked. But you need to make sure there's no colors. It's just the eggs and nothing else. Now I'm going to explain to you, not to you because I don't want to. I would like to credit you for taking the first step. But basically, how to make an omelette? Very simple. Let me use this one. Before we're going to include the pan. The pan never gets. The pan, the omelette pan is there just to make an omelette for cooking eggs. That's it. Therefore, they never get washed. What we do is we use some white paper or whatever, and then we use a cloth, and that's it. Then it's covered, and that pan is always ready to make. One thing they don't need is to make sure the eggs don't stick, and so on. So I'm just clearing.
Let's carry on.
Well, really enjoy that. Now, how to make an omelette? You get your eggs. And you need to have some proper eggs.
I know.
Right. Therefore, that's one thing. Why? Because you want to enjoy it. You really want to enjoy the benefit of an egg. I keep saying to my kids, if one day you're starving, if one day you're in the middle of nowhere, there's nothing. One thing to make sure you always have some eggs, because you got the whole nutrition, not just the yolk, the white, the proteins from the egg whites and so on. In fact, if you have to choose between an egg and a steak, I would prefer you have an egg. And it's just the most unbelievable ingredient on the planet when you think. Now, I man use 4 to make sure I get a decent. The eggs are big enough.
You don't get any more time, though.
So not the greatest. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to use 4 eggs just to make sure we got a decent omelette. Now, one of my very first job as a chef was when I must have been 58 now. I must have been 17 years, just before I had to go to the army to do my military service anyway. And I remember I was quite happy. I had a good job. I was making omelettes in a place called La Brasserie Alsacienne, which was in the north part of France, which is, I was brought up in Arras, near Lille. I don't know if you know Lille, I'm sure you probably do. Anyway, sorry, but I was trying to bring a bit of France, but no one is interested, I can see. Nobody give a toss. Therefore, I work in a place where basically it was just chips, making the frites, moule frites, omelettes, simple. Occasionally a steak and that's it. And I was in charge of making the omelettes. Well, not at first, but then. And in one point, I had to have 10 pans. No, I mean, I was there for nearly a year, therefore after 1 year. I'm sure you can do more than one omelette. But it's quite simple. Everything is well organized. The pans are perfect, this and that. And basically, it's just bang on non-stop. Therefore, the most important things about making an omelette is this. First, you don't want to use salt, because if you put salt or any seasoning, first, before you even consider putting salt in your food, you need to understand salt is like a silent poison if you abuse your salt. Is anybody knows? Actually, you got books to study, yeah? Well, get me one book out, please. For one book, I'm gonna ask one question. Listen, I was not supposed to do a cooking demonstration tonight. I was just supposed to. Can we give me the book, please? Thank you. What are you doing? You're trying to oversell the one. I'm not here to sell books, by the way. Tony's just had an argument with his hairdresser. Look. You can see on the top his Therefore, whoever answered that question is about salt. A book and a kiss and a signature. That's for you to start anyway.
Thank you
Can I
very
have
much.
another one? Yeah. Right. How much salt, and that's not a joke by the way, how much salt in grams are we allowed as adults to consume per day?
5 grams.
10.
Sorry, would you say? Yeah. Well, 6. If you give me 50 quid, I might accept. Right, if you can come over, please, ladies. Sorry, you said 10. That's a good answer. And it's nice for saying. Sorry, what is this lady name? Sorry, what is your name?
Jane.
Jen? Okay, Jen. Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much.
Can I ask you first, before you run away with my book, how do you know it's 5 grams?
Ah,
Honestly, because a lot of people don't.
no.
And you know the worst about it? People are obsessed about sugar. People are obsessed about, oh, I'm eating too much sugar, I've got too much calories, this and that. Or I'm eating too much fat. But what do you think is the worst? Saturated fat, sugar, or salt? Salt. Well, I'm bloody sure now. I mean, even my little son will have got that. Yes, well done, salt. And you know why? Because salt is a mineral, it's the worst mineral on the planet. And it's very difficult to remove it from your system. You can burn fat, you can burn sugar, excess of sugar and fat, but with salt there is something which is difficult. And I'll tell you something what we did in my cookery school. We had some saucepans, you know, similar saucepans, 1 liter of water each, 100 grams of rock salt, 100 grams of rock sugar. That's not a joke, by the way. Into the water, in a pan, simmer the pan, water reduced down to nothing. It took a long time. By the time everything was completely dissolved, the water was evaporated, the sugar had nothing left, I promise you. The salt still had crystal of the rock salt in the pan. Now show you, you need more than going to the gym to burn your salt. And what salt does to you is atrocious. It is very true. Therefore, I remember when I was making those omelettes, if I did not season my omelettes, they would scream at me. In fact, I remember one of my chefs used to take my fingers, keep me like this during the service for a minute as a punishment. When you have everybody running about, you're there like an idiot, looking at everybody stuck with your fingers in the salt because you don't season your meat or your fish or your cooking. And you were not a very good chef. Now it's completely the opposite. And I remember if we season, that was the stove, for example, that's what we had to do. If I have to season that, I had to. And I remember, because I got flat feet, very much I remember that. Not my flat feet. I remember changing the soles of my shoes so many times. 3-4 times a year. And I could not believe why the hell, and I know we were not rich. Well, I keep saying we were very wealthy, but everything we did not have is money. So I remember I keep saying to my mom, well, why am are they cheap sole or what? Or the cheap shoes? And she said, well, no, they just, I mean, in that time, they used to make sorry, it's like it's like during the war. No, it's not. What I'm saying is, it was proper shoes, you know, nothing extravagant, no names, this and that. Therefore, and I remember all the salt we flew during the day, and the floor were always wet for some reasons, always wet. Therefore, with my flat feet, one of my foot, especially on the other, used to have the cohesions of the salt into the salt and burn my sole and also make a hole. Now I show you how bad salt is. I did not think of that. It's only now it's something I realized this. Therefore, every time we have to season, like I said, it was spread. The problem is, even so, you still see recipes now, and that's the thing which amazes me. With all the great communication we have with, social media and going through the internet, the quick answer we get, there's still that mistake of seasoning fish. Why do you want to season fish? It's crazy. Anyway, salt on the eggs. How many times I see somebody putting salt, and I remember somebody saying, this will solidify my eggs. What? No. If I put salt from the time I start my story the salt will be burned by the salt will have burned my eggs. That means they are completely useless. They're completely there, giving away more liquids on having the froth of the egg white, of the egg. Sorry. Therefore, I was talking about froth because another things we used to do. We used to put a bit of crème fraîche or something like soft cheese, or just to make that egg situation quite, very svelte and very. You don't. If you want, first, this came to me. I learned to make an omelette many times by different people, but actually with my cookery school, because I decided I'm going to change everything, because I've got a young family, not because I'm trying to be clever. It's purely because I've got 3 kids under the age of 11, and I've got to cook very differently the way I used to do to my customers. Therefore, the best way, if I use the whisk will actually completely define my eggs too thinly. What I want, when I break if you break an egg, you see there's 2 lumps. One is a third, and one is 2/3. It's funny, I've never thought of that. And I realized when it went on the floor, I saw 2 pieces of lumps. Therefore, basically, I remember the best way of me making a meringue is, for example, when you put every time I was taught, the whisk has to go inside your bowl, your obar, which is a mixer bowl, and forth and forth and forth, of course, because that machine is so powerful, especially on number 3. But what you're doing is totally wrong. Why? Because you over-froth it, and too quick. Well, I tried by having, imagine that's the bowl full of egg white, very clean, very fresh, no salt, nothing, yeah? And you have your whisk. You notice the whisk has a lot of piece of stainless steel, and there's always one which is a little bit longer. I'm talking like this of my nail. And you just put it there on the top, and you froth like this. You turn it. It's not touching, but it's just, there's something. The first, how do you call it, the piece of the whisk. Have we got a whisk here? No. Not yet. The what?
Trying to get a book.
I don't know about you. Look like a rival here today. You're just in the corner. Every week I see you talking. Anyway. Oh, well done today. Well done. Yeah. It's like you're going to be shot. Now, therefore, what's happening is because in the rotation of the ovar, that one of the stainless steel, I don't know, you call it, yeah, is actually grabbing a bit of the lump of the egg, and then another one, and slowly, and this is not a joke, it's actually taking most of them by not being deep inside the egg white mixture. Therefore, by the time you come to all of them, is so much air inside the egg, you've made your meringue. That means you don't need sugar so much. And it's the same with this one. If you hold your fork like this, which is quite heavy, I know it sounds ridiculous. The first time I did that in my cookery school, I always thought I was a bit mad. No, I'm not. It's harder. Therefore, what I'm doing is I'm actually, by doing this movement, I'm getting more the whisk to work, because this is why you use equipment. It's for them to do the job. And basically, I'm getting more air inside my container. Now you can see, look, it's exactly what I'm doing. Except this container is not big enough. Now you can see why they got me out of Saturday Kitchen, and I'm absolutely not in welcome back. And you know what? I don't give a toss anymore. I swear. Look. You see, look what's happened. Look how much air goes in the egg white. And this container is too small. That means I could have, and this is what's going to make my egg white or my omelette nice and firm with textures, without fat, without salt, without nothing. And that's very important, trust me. Because if you buy some good eggs, right, and I mean good eggs, proper eggs, I mean, I bet you all have an iPhone. I mean, you're all coming here to buy some proper stuff, yeah? That's what I meant. You're not going to DIY to be some shitty... Right. And that's what life is about. You want the best of the best. But the thing is, people don't do it with food all the time, or not enough. It's true. Therefore, when you buy the right eggs, it's not actually, funny enough with food, it's not actually more expensive. is to find a person, which are not many, who supply the things. It's like I buy my garlic from the Isle of Wight, not from the supermarket, which is all coming from China. And for the sake of 20p, I get the best garlic in the world. But it's knowledge, it's where to go, how to do it. In fact, I tell you what, I'm amazed that nobody else does it. Anyway, therefore, basically, when you got the right eggs, and you're going to understand why these old techniques are worth the trick. Now, look. Now, another thing is when you mix your eggs, you can't stop. You mix them, and if you let them rest, it's time to release this liquid, and especially if you put salt in it. Therefore, basically, now you can see. Like I said, that should be a more. And now we're going to put that on. Oops, sorry for that. And so I can't see anymore. There we are.
There you go, your top one there.
Thank you.
There you go.
I knew it was the top one.
Of course
But
you
thank
did.
you for
Of course you
it.
did.
Right. Therefore, what is the point of cooking an egg? You need a pan like this or like that, it doesn't matter. We're going to put the liquid in. I'm going to put a tiny amount of rapeseed oil. Not butter, forget the butter. On your toast, fantastic. But cooking with butter now, I think I'll explain in a minute, but I don't think it's not an issue anymore. I can't even open this. And what we want, that's why I just use my teeth.
That's it. No.
I was just sure.
I've got health and safety. You can't.
I was going to do a go for Colgate. Yeah. Now, if you got a little bit of water, it's just a touch of water, please. Thank you. Because I know I'm trying to, I might sound like I'm trying to make a lot, but I'm not. What I'm doing, can you hear that noise? This is a frying stage, which is quite hot, basically. If I had oil there, my eggs will be fried. I don't want fried egg. I just want to make an omelette. And I want to, you can actually smell now. I don't want that smell. I just want the smell of eggs, froth, cooked, nice and soft, and getting the nutrition of my cooking. That's another thing. If you overcook your eggs, therefore basically this is too hot, yeah? I'm gonna put a bit of oil, just a tiny amount of oil, and then just there, and then I'm gonna remove it. Remember, when you whisk your eggs, okay, I need to come back here. When you whisk your eggs, you need to cook them straight away. You can't let them rest, that's what I meant. And what do? We put everything in. And then that's what you do. Open you can come close to me, by the way, because maybe you might like the way I do it. But you notice, come closer. What's happened now is because every time I move my spatula into the bottom, I open up the surface and now the liquid to get there, and you see, look, I'm off completely the ring. The pan is hot enough, and I'm still cooking my eggs. If it's not enough, I go back there. And I don't care how long it's going to take. That's why I'm not going to come to Saturday kitchen. And by that time, I can hear all this tweet. How do you say that when you speak a bird's language?
Tweeting.
When you say, okay, now. Now you can see now this has solidified. And it's now also equally, which is very important, there's that froth which you expect, because textures, it's very important when you chew your food. And look, now this is probably nearly cooked. And what's happened when I move the pan? Everything is like steaming out. Therefore, all the liquid for the eggs is coming off. Again, if there's less liquid, there's more flavors. It's simple as that. Now look, I could put, if I wanted, my cheese now. You might say, hang on a minute, this is not cooked enough. Trust me, this is very hot. All right? What you do is you low-cut this completely, like that. Tap, that's showing up, by the way.
Okay. I'm taking notes.
I remember because when I was a kid, I used to do that, and I used to do that, and I realized it's like pissing in a violin. It's mean nothing. So I should not speak like that. I should not be speaking French, to be fair. And then you have your plate nice and clean. You get your pan that way, and that's what you do. Very quick, gently, bang, done. I'm going to do that. Only two. Okay, therefore, if you only had 2 there and add 4, you can see clearly this has inflated. The most important thing is not that, because it's just a technique. It's all about, you see it once and that's it, thank you very much, it's for me now. That's what it is. I did not create that. Maybe I did actually, I don't know. Who cares? But what I'm saying is, look how soft. Have a smell of the eggs. And I mean, no, I'm not saying it's bad, because I still think you did extremely well for being the first one, and you've actually cooked on the phone. People, how many times you've done that in your life? Maybe never. Exactly.
Good job,
Therefore,
Paula,
you deserve the glory. But what I meant is, it's like everything, even down to an egg, you appreciate the flavors, the taste, the smell, and also the nutrition. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Therefore, voilà.